Shalom. Call Haloyim Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. I just wanted to make a video concerning Zephaniah 3:8, where it says, "Therefore wait ye upon me," because this is all we were commanded to do. Now, obviously, the Lord called us to be prophets as well, meaning we have to go out there and teach to the elect out of the nation of Israel, preach to them and let them know about the warning of Yahushua returning and what he's going to do to this world. So we do have a job to do. The Bible talks about this profession that we have. But at the same time, all we have to do is wait. We're just in a waiting period right now. And that waiting period can sometimes be hard, and it can sometimes be easy. And so I just wanted to talk about that waiting process that we're in right now, how to cope with it, what to do, and just all around what it means. Now remember, we're in a time of grace or mercy. And that means that we have to do our best to fulfill our duty and our obligation during this grace time, during this time of grace. Like if you're late on your rent, okay, you're given grace. Or you're late for work and they give you a grace period, 15, 20 minutes to get there on time. Or a week or 2 weeks to get your rent in, whatever it is if you're late. Right now we're in a grace period where the Lord has given us, shown us mercy to where we're not under the judgment of the law. So we still keep the law to the best of our capability, but we're not being judged. But anyway, without me rambling on, I'm going to get into all that in the spirit. Let me read Zephaniah 3:8. It says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation." So the Lord is the one that's preparing World War III. And he's working on the minds of the leaders of these different countries to bring them over to the Middle East to eventually start World War III, where he returns and he's going to destroy all the hosts of the different armies around the world, and especially Babylon the Great. That's why it says that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation. It says, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. And of course, it's not talking about the entire earth being destroyed. No, we already know that. But with that being said, we were also commanded to wait on the Lord, wait for his return, wait for him to come and deliver us. Talk about the laws, talk about the prophecies, preach and teach about these things. Now, while we're in that waiting process, we're going to have to deal with different trials and tribulations, things that come our way. And the Bible tells us how to cope with different things. As an example, I'm going to come back to Luke 19, Lord's will, but let me grab this in the book of 1 Peter. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 12. It says, "Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you." So while we're in this waiting period, we know that we're going to have to go through different trials, as we're reading about right now. But the Bible is warning us and saying, look, don't think it's strange when certain things happen unto you. Car breaks down, you lose your job, your woman is giving you hell, family members are looking at you sideways and treating you wrong. You go out into the world and people are being disrespectful to you. It said, don't think it's strange, as if some strange thing happened unto you. Verse 13 says, "But rejoice, inasmuch as ye are partakers of Yahushua's sufferings." So while we're in this waiting period, certain trials like those examples, and those are common examples, but certain things like that are going to happen unto us. And that's where sometimes it can get hard. Remember that even Yahushua said it, look, if I'm quoting it right, my yoke is easy, my burden is light, I believe. Well, yeah, that's because all we have to do is just go out there, teach, make some videos, and that's it. But during the waiting process, it can get hard with these different trials and tribulations. So what we're told to do is simple, but it can be hard at the same time. And we have to learn how to cope with both sides of the extreme. Even the simple. Sometimes it can get so boring and you're like, oh my gosh. And you just want something more. But then you remember precepts like, the scriptures say, everything we're going to get for waiting, right? You're going to receive 100-fold or whatever it said. Not whatever it said, but it talks about if you suffered and you've sacrificed women and children or wives. It says wives, children, families, houses for my sake, right? Let's finish verse 13 now. But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Yahushai's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. So now we're able to cope a little bit more through this waiting process. Even though that waiting process can be hard, right? Hope deferred maketh the heart sick, it says, meaning it makes your mind just weary, and that can eat at your body. When your mind is all effed up, then your body in turn gets all messed up as well. But we got to remember precepts like this, and that's why the Bible is called the Comforter. It's really the spirit that comes with the Bible that's comforting us as we're reading, and is giving us the interpretation and understanding of what we're reading. It's the spirit that comforts us as we're reading these words. All right, so this is what we have to do as we're going through that waiting process. Because you may think waiting is simple, and it is. But in those times where it gets difficult, remember precepts like this. Remember precepts like what I quoted in the book of Matthew 19, I believe. Verse 28, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And we've basically done the same thing as well. We've forsaken everything because what we also have to cope with while we're waiting is all the desires and different goals and ambitions that we had in the world previously before we were awakened to this ministry. Every single day we had to cope with that. We had to cope with knowing that we were working so hard and diligently, some of us, I'm sure, myself included, for different goals we had in the world. But then we came here and we said, you know what? There's no way that I can keep doing that if I'm going to be a part of this ministry. I don't have enough time, my energy, there's not enough attention there. I can't do it. So we have to sacrifice some of those goals and say forget about it in order to put all of our time and focus and energy in this ministry. So we've forsaken everything and we followed the Lord. Verse 28, and Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And ultimately that represents ruling the entire world. And every one that hath forsaken houses, brethren, sisters, father, mother, wife, children, or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold. So I was right. It wasn't 100-fold. And shall inherit everlasting life. So we have to remember this while we're waiting. And of course, we know to do the work. I'm not harping on that too much because I want to speak more on the mental side. But obviously, the work is involved. You make your videos. You continue to read. You pray daily, like the scriptures say, because it says without ceasing. So that might as well say daily. And you get out there on the streets and you prophesy, you teach. So we know those things. Verse 30, but many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Meaning the last are the ones that are sacrificing right now. They're going to be first in the kingdom, meaning they're going to have the highest rank. And we also have to remember that in this waiting period. But first, the first shall be last. Those that are putting themselves first in this world right now. Those that are thinking about their own desires, what they want, what's best for them. See, we're also thinking about what's best for us. And we know that that means Yahawashi returning. But we also understand that means that's also what's best for us as a nation as well, as a whole. And that's what's best for the entire world, the earth, the trees, the grass, all the animals, the air, the water. What's best for all that is Yahawashi returning as well, because everything is going to be put back in its proper order when Yahawashi returns. We just got to wait. Just got to wait. That's it. And it can get hard, like I mentioned, but we have the Comforter to appease our spirit for the time being, because that's really all it is. That's what's going on. I'm going to read this last, and I'm not even going to read the whole thing, to be honest with you, because I don't want to break this whole parable down. But as you can see, Luke 19, starting at verse 30, it's a parable of money usage. Now, I only want to read to verse 13 because the Christian church likes to say that occupy till I come in verse 13 means you go to college, you get your degree, you have a family, you get a good job, you buy a house, and that's you occupying. No, that's not what this is talking about. These Christians, they take one verse and they take a phrase in a verse and they turn it around. They flip the script to meaning something in this world, prospering in this world. And that's incorrect. That's not what this is talking about. It's a parable of money usage. Let's read Let's read the first 3 verses. Verse 11. And as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable. That's what it is. Because he was nigh to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of God should immediately appear. Verse 12. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. Let's read it in the NLT. Luke 19, verses 11 through 13. The crowd was listening to everything Yahawashi said, and before he was nearing Jerusalem, he told them a story to correct the impression that the kingdom of God will begin right away. He said, a nobleman, which is him in this parable, was called away to a distant empire, and that's where he is. He's sitting on the right hand of the Most High in the heavens, to a distant empire to be crowned king and then return, and he will be returning soon. Before he left, he called together 10 of his servants, his prophets, or his servants, and divided among them 10 pounds of silver, meaning he dispersed to them knowledge, specific amounts of knowledge, saying, invest this for me while I am gone. So in the King James, it says, occupy till I come. In the NLT, it says, invest this for me while I am gone. That's why it's a parable about money usage. And the money right there is referring to the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of these scriptures. Meaning go out there and preach, teach, and prophesy, gather in, or teach to the elect, rather, I'll put it that way. And then the Lord is going to come back and he's going to get everything that's his. All the elect that belong to him, everything. He's going to get the glory, the praise, and honor. And then, of course, we'll get ours later. Lord's will, if we're part of that number. But that's what this is going into. It's not talking about going out there and fulfilling your own desires and doing whatever you want to do, and that's you waiting on the Lord. No. The Lord gave us, as prophets, a specific job. Go out there and teach. Occupy till I come. Invest this money. Take the knowledge and go out there and teach what you've been given. And that's a part of this waiting process. Along with that, we know we're going to come and have to endure different trials and tribulations, which I talked about in the beginning. Let me slow down. But I just wanted to break down this parable, or at least the first few verses as well. Honestly, now that you know what everything is referring to, you can just keep reading the rest on your own. And you should if you haven't. And you should be able in the spirit to get the gist of it. If you need us to go all the way into it, just say something and we will. But it's pretty simple. That's what it is. But I just wanted to speak on that, waiting on the Lord, because like I mentioned, it was on my spirit. Sometimes you have highs and lows. Remember, even Paul said that he learned to be abased and to abound. So you got to learn to just deal with it. Learn to endure those troublesome times, more difficult times. Learn to, be cool when things are just more chill. Obviously, that's a little bit easier. So like I said, I pray that this was edifying to the elect. Call Haloyim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakha, the belongings to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.